Well, I'm a father and a doctor and the most wealthiest man in town. It's turn of the century. And the setup for the film is that my daughter, I own an opera house, and it's based loosely based on a true story about a man who killed his daughter's lover, who she was going to run off with. And that's sort of the premise of the movie is this actor, of course it's an actor, is married and having a relationship with my daughter, who is my only child. And she's going to leave with him. And I take care of that. But then she disappears. And of course, the plot of the story is that I tell everyone she's dead, that he killed her. And then the haunting begins. I would call it a psychological thriller. Well, it was interesting because I didn't see the script initially. It was my agent calling me, and she really loves the casting director. Yeah. And said she has really good taste. This is a little bit outside your wheelhouse, and I think you should do it. And I went, no, because I had just finished doing Narcos and Queen of the South simultaneously, and another show up here in upstate New York. That I was tired. I mean, I was bone tired. And she finally convinced me to do it. And I read it, and I went, oh my God, this is good. This is interesting. And so I talked to the director, Devin, by phone. And then I arrived in Arkansas, and he showed up on set. And it was a lot of what they managed to do in this film, which was really quite amazing, is to have so little money and so much production value. And our DP was astounding. I mean, really, Travis did an amazing job. And so did our costumer. But I showed up, and I was kind of like brain dead. It's like the first 2 days, I literally was like Walking Dead. And he'd just say, stand here and say your line. I'd say, okay. Really? Just want me to do that? And I was too tired to argue. So, and then it took off, and I found this guy, Dr. Perot, and it was really interesting because the costumer, and it's horrible of me, but I'm going to blank on her name right now. She lives in these clothes. Her children live in these clothes, and she built everyone's wardrobe. And the town that we shot in, of Fort Smith, I think it's the town next to Fort Smith, they opened their arms to us. And they have this town, this like 5 or 6 block area that they've restored and kept, like, it could be the Old West, it could be anything. They put dirt down on the streets for free for us. And so you literally would walk on set and everyone's in wardrobe. And you kind of go, oh. It's sort of like walking around here in Little Italy or in places, and if you kind of close your eyes and think, what would it be like back in 1920? And it wouldn't have changed much other than the newer cars and the people's clothes. But we were all in that, you know, with the horse and buggies and the horses. And it was just like walking into another century. So it wasn't real difficult to drop into that world. The emotional aspects of the character are a whole other complex explanation, but it was really fabulous, and Devin did an amazing job, I think. I'll tell you a quick story. I worked with Gene Hackman, and I was playing a guy in a movie called The Replacements with Keanu Reeves. And I had drinks with Gene because he's my idol. I mean, I just think he's the greatest actor that's ever lived. So I asked him, I said, well, you've played a lot of bad guys, you know, guys that are unsympathetic. I said, do you try and find the gray area, or do you, and he said, are you kidding? Just enjoy it. So that's kind of when you get that kind of opportunity, you sort of jump in with both feet. And, you know, I mean, the same thing with that character in The Replacements. In this one, he's justified in his mind because he's trying to protect his family, trying to protect his daughter, and trying to protect his honor. And in doing so, destroys all that. Well, I did a movie once in 12 days. I produced it. So, I mean, I know what the obstacles are. They were very good about having 2 cameras, and, you know, Travis, our DP, who's local in Arkansas, and I said this before, I mean, I worked with Sven Nyquist, you know, Bergman's DP, and he can stand toe-to-toe with that guy. I mean, what he did, and my wife, the first time she saw the trailer, she went, who shot this? And it's that amazing what he accomplished. So, but the problems you have when you're doing a period thing is obviously the wardrobe and getting everything that looks and feels like the turn of the century. The city itself opened its arms and allowed us and sort of helped create that. And it was not difficult in that regard, but it was a lot of work for them. For me, it was showing up and saying, what do I put on? And then going into it. But like I said, the beauty of it was to be able to walk into a situation where you felt like you didn't have to imagine what it looked like. It was there. So that was easy in that regard. But shooting 22 days, I like working fast. I work in television a lot. That's how I came from the theater, and then I started working in television, and then I started doing movies. But I like working. I like the pace of television. I like the idea that I can shoot 8 or 12 pages a day, and that, I know that I've accomplished it, and it's a little bit more sort of like flying by the seat of your pants, which is exciting as an actor because you're having to think on your feet really fast. So I enjoyed it.